What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Game Channel. I am AJ Gels. Guys, welcome to the last two episodes of last week's news show. Yes, I know this is last week's news, and this was supposed to be up Saturday, and it's Wednesday, or maybe Thursday, depending on how long it takes for these videos to upload. I don't see these last two taking too terribly long. I'm still just breaking them down this way just because it's easier. It's easier instead of to talk about these three news stories because they all revolve around consoles, and the next video, the final video of episode, I think 96 it is, so it's like part 4, or however you want to call it. Either way, basically, I'm doing this for convenience of just how the topics relate to each other and all that. If you're new to this show, I'm sorry, it's been so goddamn confusing this week. Usually this show goes live on Saturdays, where I just come in, I talk about video game news that I gather from around the web. I have everything time-stamped down in the description below, and I try not to do it like this too often, but end of my semester, it's kind of how it goes. Real quick, before we really do hop into the news, if anybody wants me to talk about the staff walkout, because I'm using IGN for this, you know, all these articles. You wanted me to talk about the staff walkout that happened, I think, on Monday at IGN. God, you'll be pulling my teeth, but I'll talk about it Saturday if you want. Just leave me a comment. Just, dear God, I don't want to talk about it just because it's more of a social issue than it is about video games, and it's just. But I have some opinions on it. You know what I mean? It's just, I like this channel to be about video games and not somebody getting annoyed because I have different political/social opinions or whatever. But I have my own opinions about it or whatever. So if you want to hear it, tell me, and I'll talk about it somewhere down the road. Either way, we're going to start off today with PlayStation trophies can now be used to pay for games. Article Joe Scrabbles, IGN. Sony in the US is adding a new incentive for trophy hunters. You can now trade in your exploits for PSN credit. Announced by Sony as spotted by DualShockers, the Sony rewards system now allows players to register their achievements in return for a little kickback. Here's how your trophies break down to points. 100 silver trophies, 100 points. 25 gold trophies, 250 points. 10 platinum trophies, 1,000 points. Oh, here's also the PlayStation. They actually have real life trophies now. I actually kind of want one. As you might expect, the payoff isn't gigantic. 1,000 points breaks down to $10 of credit, meaning it would take a whole lot of playtime to afford a regular AAA game. Sony Rewards is a US-only incentive, so other territories may well not get the same benefit. We've contacted Sony to ask if this is the case. PlayStation fans in Australia did get their own real-life trophy incentive recently in the form. I'd prefer that over this. I think this is an interesting idea and maybe a good, hey, get trophies and you can get money for them, I guess. But my other question is, does if I transfer over 10 platinums for this 1,000 points, is it like I lose those platinums on my account, or does it just register that I've gotten 10 platinums, so here's 1,000 points? How does that work? Because if I have to trade in my trophies for 10 trophies for basically $10, no, screw yourself. I'm not doing that. I'm keeping my trophies. Especially my platinum for Titanfall 2, because of that goddamn Become the Master trophy that I sat around for 5 hours trying to get. I still have nightmares about that stupid trophy. But all in all, I think this is an interesting. I use that a lot. This is interesting. I don't know how to really feel about this because I'm not going to make use of this, and I don't know many people who would. I think the only people who could truly make use of this are people who spend way too long just trophy hunting, which I consider myself on the cusp of doing because I think people would look at me and say, but even then, I don't spend hours upon hours on most games hunting trophies. It depends if it's a game that I'm already going to be playing a lot, or if I could just eat up the trophy, like that. But I don't think it's worth it at the payoff. I would also believe that the reason that this is an American only is because this is a test to see if people are willing to do it, just like the Australian people with the Australian gamers with the real life platinum trophies. I think that's kind of the same thing. I think that's we're gonna test these little things here in different territories to see if it'll work. But again, in my opinion, this is not. It's an interesting idea, but not for what they're paying me. Especially if I end up, like I said, losing my trophies on my account, I'm not interested. But again, if you are, I just thought this was interesting. Wanted to maybe bring it up, ask what you guys think. Moving on to another article, Alex Osborne, IGN console. On top of that, Ubisoft CEO thinks next console generation is at least 2 years away. Article, like I said, Alex Osborne, IGN. The next generation of PlayStation and Xbox hardware is at least a couple years away if the thinking of Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot proves to be true. And I quote, as Sony launched PlayStation 4 Pro last year and Microsoft One X this year, we think we still have a minimum of 2 years in front of us before something new is coming, end quote, Guillemot said during an investor's call via GameSpot. Guillemot emphasized that Ubisoft's projected arrival time of the next console generation is merely the publisher's perception, noting they don't have any confidential informants on that front, end quote. Guillemot also spoke positively about the iterative way in which Sony and Microsoft have opted to upgrade PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. He said Ubisoft believes this evolutionary approach to improving technology, and I quote, is going in the right direction rather than trying to do accessories or other things, and will ultimately help the industry a lot because the games will be really beautiful on those machines, end quote. Microsoft launched Xbox One X earlier this week, and Sony released PlayStation 4 Pro around this time last year. Checking out our comparisons of the two consoles, IGN, blah, 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 that stuff, and Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed sold 100% better than Syndicate. Interesting. Although I'm not surprised, Syndicate was coming off of Unity, and that was a big issue. Then they took a year off, and Syndicate and Origins is something almost completely different from previous Assassin's Creed games. So I can see why people would be more interested. Not much to add to this, other than I think Eve is spot on. I'd guess at least 2 years, because there's no way Xbox One would release their upgraded console and then boom, we have a brand new thing next year. I think this is kind of a stopgap between the Xbox One and whatever the next iteration of the console is, and seeing as to when that sentence doesn't make sense. Seeing as I'm trying to think how to say the sentence. Both Sony and Microsoft, they both released their new big console within a couple months of each other. So it would not surprise me that 2 years. I would guess 2 years. I think Guillemot is spot on with that. I would actually put it more. I would be surprised to see a new console before 2020. I would guess 2020 would be at earliest the next, which I guess that could be what he was saying, because I'm still counting 2017. So yeah, I'd guess 2020. That would be. I'm sorry, I'm rambling. 2020 is about when I would guess that we're gonna see the next iteration of consoles. At the soonest, that's when we would see the next iteration of consoles. Moving on, final article. Microsoft investing in studios to make more first-party games. Article Joe Scrabbles, IGN. Microsoft will invest more in software and services in the near future, with a view to making more first-party games, according to Xbox chief Phil Spencer. Speaking to Bloomberg, Spencer said, and I quote, "We need to grow, and I look forward to doing that. Our ability to go create content has to be one of our strengths. We haven't always invested at the same level. We've gone through ups and downs in the investment," end quote. The renewed focus on games made in-house, presumably to fill out Xbox One's much criticized lack of exclusives, yes, will come through either buying or creating new development studios, according to Spencer. That's spot on, I think, right here. Microsoft created single franchise studios, 343 Industries and the Coalition, to handle Halo and the Gears of War, respectively. It has bought the likes of Rare in the past, although it also shut down several of its acquisitions, including Lionhead and Press Play later. God damn it! Lionhead and Press Play later. God damn it! Press Play last year. Fucking Christ. There we go. Honestly, I still find it weird that they shut down Lionhead. I think that there's still there's still legs to the Fable franchise, and I'd like to see what Fable could do with the new hardware. Shannon Loftus, who Microsoft has charged with heading up Microsoft's first-party publishing, only recently spoke of her desire for more Xbox One exclusives, although defended the company's current slate and focus on cross-platform releases. Look, I think that is a big thing that Xbox needs to focus on, because, I mean, they're getting punched in the mouth when it comes to UI of the consoles. I like the PlayStation. I'm speaking this personally, but I've also heard a lot of other people say this as well. PlayStation 4 UI is better. Their exclusives are better. Not just what they have now, because, I mean, we have stuff like, we have the Uncharted franchise. I'm still waiting for another Infamous. I mean, there's good Sony platforms. I mean, hell, we have the MLB The Show, which I know some people would say that's not, well, really? You wouldn't count that as great exclusives, but when you don't have a comparable baseball, come on, brain, a comparable baseball lineup on the other side, they also lean more with games like, come on, I can't think in a straight line today. They also have, not partnerships because they aren't exclusives or timed exclusives, but they have the, get this DLC with, that this is the place to play this game more than the other console. They have that with Destiny 2 and, well, Destiny 1. They had the same deal. They're doing that with Call of Duty. They were doing that with Assassin's Creed. I think now this year's Assassin's Creed went more on with the Xbox. But I just think that they're making that. I think they're also signing better deals with Battlefront 2 than what Xbox is. I think what's Xbox exclusive lineup right now? I mean, we have Halo and Gears of War, and I haven't heard anything about a new one from either of those franchises. We had Crackdown that keeps getting pushed back, and I'm not sure what the market for Crackdown is. The new Tomb Raiders, which was only timed exclusives. So I think that right now PlayStation is kicking the crap out of Xbox on that front. Between, I mean, even when it comes to cross-platform stuff, I think they still have the better deals than what Xbox is getting. So, read that. In the longer term, Spencer also says that Microsoft will probably introduce a game streaming service that doesn't require a console. What? And I quote, in the next 3 years. How is that going to work? It will be powered by the Azure, God, I can't pronounce that color. Azure Cloud serves that Microsoft uses for many of its services, making the process both cheaper and at a better quality level than was possible with previous attempts. Microsoft Xbox One X will be released tomorrow, and that was last week. Like I said, I think right now this is probably a very good move for Microsoft. I think focusing on your exclusives while Sony just continues, like I said, just in my opinion, to just punch them while they're down when it comes to just how they're, like I said, I don't know what to call it because it's not exclusivity, but it's that this is the place to play this game with stuff like I said, Battlefront 2, Destiny 2, Call of Duty. Then you have the exclusive franchises such as why am I blanking here? Uncharted and Infamous, which granted, I mean, we've pretty much seen the end of Uncharted, but I highly doubt it's the very end of Uncharted. I think we're going to see another Uncharted with different characters. And then, like I said, Infamous, which I wouldn't be surprised to see another game somewhere down the road. But, I mean, let's look at future exclusives. I mean, we have The Last of Us Part 2. We have the new God of War. Come on, Spider-Man. I almost said Ubisoft there. I think Sony is doing a lot more with what they have than Microsoft is, and I think it's the smarter choice, flat out. So that's going to do it for this episode. I know I was rambling. I was kind of going all over the place. I actually have to get going soon. I'm sorry. I was looking at the time. I have to get going soon to make a meeting, and I also want to grab a sandwich before the meeting. So thanks for watching. Thanks for putting up with me. Stay tuned. There's going to be one more part of this episode, whatever you want to call it, where I cover I think another 3 or 4 articles about some leftover stuff that doesn't really fit with anything else I talked about. So thank you for watching. Facebook, Twitter, the website, minds.com. Links, all that stuff is in the description below. Like, comment, you're not already. Please subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for more next time. Until then, I am AJ Gels. This is the Untitled Gaming Channel. I'm out.